Okay, I hope we don't get rained on here. It's just sprinkled outside here. So, but I want to go over some stuff with you today on buying properties in St. Kitts. It's amazing to me how many really stupid mistakes that people make when they come to St. Kitts and they start purchasing property. And they really don't do much homework, and they end up looking back and they go, damn, I just made a huge mistake. And you know, the thing is, taxes down in St. Kitts are very, very high. Okay. Now, we don't have an income tax. There's no capital gains tax, no estate tax, no inheritance tax. The taxes in St. Kitts are quite high. Okay. I mean, they've got schools down here for kids. You know, that's free. You've got stuff that are, you know, they got to build roads. Every country has taxes. Okay. So it just depends on, you know, what country it is and how they actually collect the funds. And some things they call fees or customs or stamps or whatever. It's basically a tax, okay? So, but I'm gonna show you, when you buy property, you can end up spending, because so much is levied on property as far as taxes go, and you need to know what you're doing when you come to St. Kitts. Otherwise, you're really gonna make some big mistakes. Also, folks, if you want to legally get your income taxes to zero, how to get a second passport as quick as 45 days, do three things. Hit the subscribe button on the right of your screen. You get new videos automatically as they come out. Number two is I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put it below. And number three is go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and just ask for some help. All right, let me give you an example. When you buy property, you can be 30% in the hole. 30% in the hole, that's steep, okay? As soon as you buy a property, if you don't know what you're doing in St. Kitts, and also you can be taking yourself out of a lucrative market when you resell, okay? And I see this happen probably 9 times out of 10. It's incredible how many people don't know what they're doing when they're buying property in St. Kitts. All right, let me give you an example. When you go buy a property, there's some places that you can buy in St. Kitts where you're gonna have to pay a 10% land aiding and holding license when you buy. Okay, that's the buyer that pays that. Okay, it's a license fee that you pay. It's basically a tax. They call it a license fee. Okay. All right. Now, you also, when you sell, you're going to have to pay a 10% stamp if you're the seller. So we're already talking about 20% in the hole. 10% when you buy, 10% when you sell. You got a property tax that's pretty low. It's 0.20% of whatever you're purchasing, with a $29,600 US exclusion before that 0.20% kicks in. That comes out to be roughly 80,000 EC, 29,600. Okay, and that's pretty low. I mean, that's like about 12 times lower than the property tax you'd pay in New Jersey, to give you an example. But what kills you is the 20% I just mentioned about the land aiding and holding license and the stamp duty of 10%. That does include the commission. There's a 17% VAT on the commission, which comes out to be roughly around 2 to 3% of the purchase price, depending on what your commission is that you're paying. So we're talking about, and your commission, I mean, we're talking about close to around 30%, okay, when you include everything that's in there. All right, that's a lot, man. 30% in the hole already as soon as you buy. Now, not everybody pays that. It's the people that come down that don't do their homework. And this is the problem that you run into, is people that don't do their homework. They're the ones that ends up paying this, okay? Plus, they end up throwing their house in a bad market in some cases, okay? Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Whenever you purchase a property in St. Kitts, listen to me, this is, I've mentioned this before and people just forget. Don't purchase a property unless it qualifies for the home program, okay? There are a few exceptions that you've got there, and that is if you're buying in the citizenship zones, okay? Now, but this is the problem with doing that. When you buy in the citizenship zones, your cost per square foot is going to be higher than, more than likely, than houses that qualify for the home program that you can qualify, that qualifies for citizenship, okay? Now, when you come and you buy property in St. Kitts, let me give you an example of how that works. Let's say that you go and you purchase property and you're paying a 10% land aid and hold license fee, okay? You're going to be buying those properties in areas that are typically are not titled, okay? And also, but I mean, you can buy properties that, you know, that where you're in a situation where the land alien holder license, you can avoid that and still not, you know, have properties that are going to qualify for the home program. You want to avoid the land alien holder license, and you also want to be able to qualify for the home program. And this is what a lot of people don't do. They make either one or both of those mistakes. Because if you don't qualify for the home program, let's say if you're buying a house, let's say this in Half Moon Bay, for instance, okay? Those homes are, there's a land alien license there fee if you're not a citizen when you're buying, okay? So getting citizenship helps, but you can still buy in the wrong areas where the property doesn't qualify for the home program. In other words, you can avoid the land alien license by getting your citizenship, but then that property might not qualify for the home program, okay? And then when you resell it, if you're paying too much for it, then when you resell it, it's going to be more difficult to resell it, okay? And home programs, like I said, properties that qualify for the home program are typically going to be cheaper per square foot. Now, also, you're going to be spending more for them because there's a minimum of $400,000 for the home program without the lot, just the structure of the building, and then you got to add the lot to it. So you're paying, you know, quite a bit more, probably dollar-wise, than you would in the citizenship zones if you're looking for the minimum, because the minimum in the citizenship zone is just a flat $400,000. Okay, you know, what you want to do is you want to avoid areas like, I'll be honest with you, Half Moon Bay has really cheap properties over there. I got one now, and they've got them in the $40-something. I've seen as low as $40-something a square foot. The problem is you're going to end up paying, you're going to be paying a 10% landholding license there, and those homes will not qualify for the home program. So, and remember, I gave you these figures a long time ago. And that is that when you buy properties that are outside the home program, or excuse me, outside of when you purchase properties and you're getting properties that that don't, you know, qualify for the home program, you're going to end up paying maybe a cheaper price, but when you resell it, you're going to throw yourself out of any sort of market of people to buy it. I had given you figures a while back that we took this back in 2014. The figures still hold up today. They won't be exact today, but the ratio is going to be pretty close to the same. That is, properties in the courthouse, we actually verified this with someone there, that for every 50 properties that sold for citizenship, one sold for outside citizenship. So you can see where most of the driving in the market here is for citizenship properties, okay? So when you come to St. Kitts and you buy properties that don't qualify for citizenship, don't qualify either in the citizenship zones or the home program, okay, because they're not titled properties like, for instance, in Half Moon Bay, and when you turn around and resell those, you're going to be selling them cheap yourself because your market is going to be extremely low. See, most people that come into St. Kitts that have money, they're either, a lot of cases, they're people that qualify for, that want to get citizenship, or they want to get citizenship properties, even if they don't want to get citizenship, because they know the resale is going to be a lot better on them, okay? Because the people that are coming in with a lot of money, my average client, I'd say, has got a net worth of 10 million, but almost the lowest is 5 million to get citizenship. These people are going to pay cash on their properties, okay? In fact, one thing I think I've mentioned in the past is you can't finance citizenship properties. It's against a law for even mortgage companies here to finance citizenship properties. You have to pay cash. They want people coming and have money, okay? That's another thing I wanted to bring out about this, while I'm on this, about this, all this stuff going on with the Silicon Valley Bank, and they just had another bank that went under too, is had problems. They're going to try to bail them out. But the point I'm trying to make is it's not affected down here because in the U.S. you've got, that's another thing I like about buying property here. We don't have these financial crises in real estate. They just don't, they're not affected here in St. Kitts. And the reason is interest rates are going up a lot in the U.S. And a lot of people now are not buying, they're not selling their house and going somewhere else because interest rates are a lot higher now in the U.S. than what they were 2 and 3 and 4 years ago. Okay, so why would they want to move and pay a higher mortgage? Most people are not. What they're doing is they're just sitting tight. So properties are not moving. That's going to affect the property market in the U.S. Here you don't have that. The reason is number one is people come here, they pay cash for properties. They're not interested in interest rates because they're paying cash anyway. So it doesn't affect the market here like it does in the U.S. That's the thing that's real nice here. Okay, and another thing too is all your rental properties here, there's no income tax. I'm talking about St. Kitts, and if you're a U.S. citizen, you're still obligated to pay income taxes on that money. If you qualify for foreign overseas exclusion, we can show you ways how you can really cut back on taxes here if you're buying properties. But you're going to have to qualify for the overseas exclusion. You don't have to relinquish your U.S. citizenship. That's another story. We've got other tapes on that. You can look at that. All right, but you don't have to worry about the bottom falling out down here because of what's happened in the U.S. because we don't have these interest rate issues here like you do there. It's a totally different market. It works totally different. Right now the market is going up here consistently. We don't have those type issues. Even back in 2008, 2009, when that financial crisis hit the U.S., we had the properties dropped here, I'd say maybe 2011, 2012, a little bit, and then it came back. But we didn't have those issues they had in Arizona, Nevada, and places like that. They just didn't drop like that. And we're not interest rate sensitive here like they are in the U.S. because people paying cash for properties. And properties downtown, conditions rarely move. Where you're going to see movement in properties is in places like the citizenship zones and in Frigate Bay, where expats buy. Okay, but most of them pay cash for the properties. And so what ends up happening is this interest rate scare that's going on in the U.S., where they're having to raise interest rates to control inflation. You're not having that here. It's just not affecting here. It's just a totally different market, okay? All right, so anyway, back to this part here. Again, you need to be purchasing title property that is in places like Frigate Bay, okay? And if you buy in Half Moon Bay, you're going to be in the hole big time, around 30%, give or take, around 30%, depending on what commission you're paying, depends on, if you're a citizen, because if you're a citizen, you can avoid the land and alien holder license, but if you're not, you're coming down and you're buying, you better really watch what you're doing because you can be in a tax hole like crazy. And it will take you years to get out of that tax trap that you dug yourself into if you don't plan ahead of time. And I tell people this all the time, but they just don't listen to this. This is a big thing that you want to look at. So again, let me just kind of rehash this. If you're not a citizen of St. Kitts and you're going to purchase properties, okay, you're going to come down to St. Kitts and you're going to purchase, stick with this Frigate Bay, okay, or buying the citizenship zones, even if you're not going to be a citizen, okay, all right. And if you're going to be buying properties and you're going to go outside of those areas, you need to recognize that you're going to be looking at close to a 30% hole that you're going to dig for yourself, okay? And you can prevent this, but you're going to have to plan ahead of time doing it. And I've told you the ways to do that. Anyway, I'm getting ready to get rained on here. So folks, again, if you want to learn more on this, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com and ask for some help. And I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put it below. And again, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. You'll get new videos as they come out automatically. This can save you a lot of money if you're thinking about buying in St. Kitts and other matters dealing with taxes. And I look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.